Just a little bit. So we're going to take just a few steps back to make sure that we're really grasping this whole vowel point system. And the importance of taking a few steps back is because it's not hard. I literally tested it out on Jade just to see if it was hard or not. Mm-hmm. And literally what we did was I did each of these. I gave her the whole sheet at one time. And I just told her like this. I said, this sound right here, this one, makes an O sound. This one makes an O sound. I mean an oo sound. This one makes an oo sound. And I went through all of them like that. And I opened up a page and I said, now read it. And I barely had to remind her. So I want to prove my point, because the whole thing is learn like a child, that we're thinking entirely too hard when it comes to trying to grasp this. I had a 10-year-old kid write me online and ask me why I'm using the Tiberian vowel system. And it was very interesting because first of all I thought it just floored me. Like 10, and you know the difference between the Tiberian vowel system and the ancient vowel system, ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. But the importance is, and the only reason why we're using the vowel points is because that's what you need to be able to read. It doesn't matter if I teach you paleo, doesn't matter if I teach you pictograph, doesn't matter if I teach you, it doesn't matter what I teach you if when you go to research and study your scripture and you can't read it. So that doesn't make it's like me teaching you Spanish and you're moving to Portugal. Right? While it may be a similar dialect, you would prefer that I teach you Portuguese so that you can communicate with people in Portugal. Right. The reality is, because of this Psalms 83, right, crafty counsel situation, things have been hidden and removed. And they're being hidden because of small things and small arguments like, is it Tiberian or is it Sumerian or Samaritan, or is it is it Amharic mixed with Hebrew? Is it Akkadian mixed with... I'm like, can you read what you have in front of you? Right? Mm-hmm. No. So I need to teach you how to do that. From there, you can always move forward or backwards, depending on how you look at it. Right. So I know the question's going to come up when there's this big old thing and there's all these vowel points as my shot for the page. So what Uncle Neville he has a sheet, and on the sheet, it has the current Hebrew chart and then an updated Hebrew chart. I'm going to test it out today, and if it works for everyone, then what we're going to do is I'm going to upload it to the website so that everybody online can have the same thing. Okay, so what it has is what will be similar to a legend. Do you guys remember being in elementary school, and they give you the little, I don't know if I had this, but it was like a hieroglyph sheet. And it didn't mean anything. It was like a bird and a dragon and a this, and you had to like find your letter and your name and see what your name would have looked like if you used like these little symbols. Mm-hmm. And you remember, okay, so let's use it in that same fashion, because in reality, the argument that this means nothing is 100% true. It means nothing if you already know what it means. Right. But it means everything when you pick up any literature. If you want to read your script in Hebrew, it's going to have vowel points. You can buy one without it if you are advanced in that area, but it wouldn't matter. If I gave you a pictographical Hebrew, I have a Torah in just pictographs, but it would mean nothing if you didn't already know what those symbols and those words and those things meant. Okay, so that's the point of that. So we're going to go through these. I'm going to give you the sound, and then today I said we're going to digress. I'm going to take little sentences, little very basic sentences after we go through all these, and I'm going to write them on the board. And the intent is for you to take those little basic sentences that I'm going to write on the board, and we're going to, one, get vocabulary, because that's important. But two, we're going to be able to use these vowel points in small words. So instead of like words with prefixes and suffixes, very simple, short, 2 to 3 letter words, like we do like children, right? Right. Okay. So the first one, doesn't matter what it is. And a person say, what does it matter? If you knew all the names for all of these, are you going to then say that when you read it? Like we know short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds, right? Mm-hmm. But when you get ready to read sheep, do you go, that's a long E because 2 vowels are walking? Your brain doesn't do that. Right. You inherently just remember that when you see a 2E, it's going to extend, how I tell Jade is when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking.
Okay.
That's the rule in English. So it's the same thing. You learn the rules as you go. Okay. So first one is O sound, and I'll write them in as I'm doing them. So this first one is O sound. You have them all on the back of your. If you turn that sheet over that Uncle Neville gave you, other side.
Oh.
Yep. The top part, they're gonna all be there. There's a couple of them that I don't. That are. Yeah, they're on there. So this one is the O sound. O, like O. So I'll put OH because that people know what OH is. Huh?
What's that on the seat?
Other side. Flip it around. Flip. Oh wait, yeah, no, there you go. You're on the right side. Yep, it's gonna look like a
Right side, right corner.
Oh, okay, that's right.
right to left, right to left. I'm just going down. Okay. So this one's O. This one is oo, like ooh, okay, ooh. This one is exactly the same. All right. The reason why you have some of them that sound exactly the same but they look different is because when you put certain vowel points next to certain words, it depends on if that can fit next to it. You know what I mean? If something is like goes down and around and you like have like these things all squished in here, so it's easier to place it next to it than to place it under it. Very practical. Okay, it's not like rocket science. Okay, the last one, the one down here is ah. Okay, like AH.
Even with the 2 dots?
Even with the 2 dots. See, that's where it gets, it's like why? Why'd you even do that? Why'd you mess it up? Okay, this one, ah. This one, eh. Ah. Ah. Eh. A, like A. Okay. This one is like it's a soft E, like a be, but I'll put an E next to it, but it's really also just a pause. Like if when you say in Hebrew, you don't say ba, you say ba, right? So if you had that, it would just like be. It's just like it's very soft. So I'll put like E soft. Okay.
E soft and pause, or
And pause. It's both. Yep. It's a pause. Yes.
Are we looking for the,
Go ahead.
I'm confused.
No, it's okay.
Okay, are we looking for, I was looking for the letter.
No, do not look for the letter. I should, and that's very, thank you for saying that. The aleph means nothing. It's just a placeholder. I could have put an X, I could have put an O, I could have put a Z. It wouldn't have mattered because the aleph is showing you where it would be in position to that, to that letter. So the aleph is just a placeholder. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The vav though is not a placeholder. The vav is actually going to be there. Those two will actually be there.
Okay.
But the aleph is definitely a placeholder. Thank you for that because that is important. Okay, this one right here, this is E, long E, like E. And then this one, there's a little red dot at the top. And with exception to the sin, which has a dot on the other side, this will also, if it's above a word, make that O sound. Go ahead. You had it? You had it?
no, that's what I said, but you said.
Yeah, yep, perfect. Okay, so we're going to go through, and we're going to go through these sounds, and then I'm going to put just some simple sentences. So today we're just going to work with the simple sentences. All right, so the first one is what? O. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Ah. Eh. Ah. Ah. Eh. A. A. Yeah. E. O. So there's really only what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 sounds. So we have A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y. Right? Same general picture, same general understanding. Okay, so now I'm going to put these simple sentences on the board. I'll leave this up for a second if you want to take a picture of it. If you want to, if you're online and you want a screenshot, so you can keep that just in case you don't have it for yourself. And you can rewrite it later. I recommend rewriting it. Yeah. And then for some of the short sentences, I'm also going to write them in paleo so you guys can see how they would look. Because it doesn't change it. But we'll first work through writing them in regular.
Oh, it's one note.
Right,
What you trying to say?
It's the best.
Okay. It's ready? Okay. All right. So you're gonna get some vocabulary. If you have your notebook, it's a great time to use it because these words are actually biblical Hebrew words. So they're not just these made-up words like in Jay's little book where it makes absolutely no sense, but they're actually words that you can actually use. Okay. Okay. We're going to learn the difference between the B sound also and the V sound. Okay? I think we've briefly gone over this, but the bet makes two sounds. And for childlike purposes, just remember what they look like. We don't necessarily have to know where right now, just what they look like. So when there is a dot inside of the bet, it makes a B sound. B sound. Makes a B sound. When you see a bet and it has a dot in it, it makes a B sound. Okay? I think of it how I memorize it is it has a baby. Okay? There's a baby in there. The bet is a womb. There's a little baby in there. Okay? When there's a bet with nothing in it, it's void. There's nothing there. So it makes the B sound. Baby, B, void, V. That's how I remember it.
Void, V.
V, yep. Okay? These two words are two separate words. Just, I'll put a line through it. It wouldn't be like this if you saw it in Hebrew, right? If you saw it in your Bible or something, right? But they're two separate words, all right? And these are the vowel points under it. Very simple. Okay, so we're going to read this first one, and we're going to read, remember, from right to left.
Right.
Okay? So,
Va.
V.
V.
Yeah. Yep. Av. So, av. Av. You just saying the sound av. Av. Okay? Av. Av in Hebrew. Very simple. Father. Father. Av. Av. Okay? Okay. Now this one. The B.
Ba.
Oh, shoot.
Jay does it all the time. Don't even trip. All the time because it looks like a T.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say
Yes.
You're right.
Ba.
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 And this is not. It's just T.
Silent.
Okay. So what is it?
Ba.
All together. All together.
Ba.
Ba.
Abba.
Nope. Just
No. Ba.
ba. Very good. Ba. Ba. So ba. Ba means king. Like king. Right? King. C-A-M-E. King. So, yes.
On the first time you had on the first board you had two dots and then the ah. So there was two dots in the ah. What sound does that make together?
Two dots and the ah.
There's a two.
Oh,
the
with this right
pause,
here? This would be the
there's a
pause, like a
and
pause,
the-
and
yeah.
then this.
Yes.
Ah. It's still ah.
It's still okay.
Yep. Still ah.
Sort of.
Yep. So, in Hebrew, it's going to read like this. Father, av, ba. So say it with me. Av, ba. Father, king. See, like it doesn't have a lot of that fluff right away. Like we'll add some things in there and you'll see a little differently. But for right now, av, ba. So can you see how it works? Now, if I take these off now, that you know what it is, right? Can you still do that? Can you still do it?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Av,
Of,
ba. Once you know, you don't need them,
right.
right? Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what if I did this? Now that you know that that's av, ba, what if I showed you this and all I did was say, oh, and this is the same exact thing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is the same exact thing. What would you say? You go,
Of,
av, ba. By the way, that's Paleo Hebrew. You see, it's not magic.
right.
We just went literally backwards. We started with the vowel points, took them away, went back to the Paleo. It's completely possible once you know your vocabulary.
Okay.
Okay?
Excellent.
Okay?
Want us to put that up under there too?
You don't have to put that under there. No, I was just proving a point.
Okay.
I'm always doing something extra. Okay, we're gonna go to another one. So we know that father came. Okay? All right, I'm gonna give you 3 more letters. 3 more letters. So 2 vowel points, and then we'll add some stuff in there. All right, so mem. Remember the mem? The mem looks like this. And then the final mem looks like this. This is at the end of a word. End of word. Okay? And then, remember this little guy? Smallest Hebrew letter.
Yod.
Yod. Okay? Basic, right? So we know. Alright, and then this sound right here. What's this sound?
Ooh. Oh.
Single dot at the bottom.
Single
That's
dot
about
at the
E.
bottom.
E.
E.
Okay? E, right? This is E.
Yes.
Alright? And then we need the double dot sound.
And-
2 dots.
Oh, 2 dots.
2
across
dots
is
side by
A.
side. A. So we have E
And A.
and A. Okay? We're gonna just work with these. We already know the ah sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know the aleph, the bet. Now we're gonna add in a couple more letters. I'm only gonna use those that we already know so far. Alright? So single dot is E. Double dot side by side. A. Okay. Closed little box looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mem,
Mem.
right?
Right.
And then open, same thing. Mem, yod. Kind of like yeah and yes. Same similar sound. All right.
Is that final
Check
mem?
this out.
Wait, excuse me.
Yes.
Single dot was
E.
E.
E. Yep.
Double dot.
Side by side.
A.
Perfect. You got it. You got it. Okay. I'll give you 2 new words.
Double dot is
Okay. Want to take a crack at it?
Um,
If you don't memorize it, you have the sheet in front of you, decode it.
it's a mem.
That's the final mem. Yep, correct.
A mem. A mem.
Nope, just.
A.
Okay. So what we have here
Right.
is this aleph, right? Double dot makes the what sound?
A.
A. The mem, so the final mem makes what sound?
Ah.
So aim,
Aim.
aim, right? Aim. So an aim, or some people say im. An aim is a mother. Okay, mother.
Mm-hmm.
That's a name. So a father is what? You remember?
Av.
Av. And a mother is aim.
Aim.
Of aim. Okay.
Of aim.
Mem makes what sound?
Mm.
The dot.
E.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo.
And it's kind of like, it's soft. It's not as hard as like our. So it's like me.
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 Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's me. It means who? This is where some of these words can be weird. Me is who?
Of course.
Me.
Me.
Who is me?
Me.
Me is who?
Mm.
So me. Sound me is who? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give you a sentence so that it makes sense. So this is aim, me. All right. You erase it. we'll see it in a sentence. Alright. What's this one? It's a word picture, like sight words with the kids.
Who?
It is who,
Oh, okay.
but what is it in Hebrew?
Oh,
Me.
Mhm.
Okay, so now I'll write who under it.
okay.
Who. And then what is this?
Ba.
Ba.
So say it together.
Who.
No.
Oh.
Say it. Go.
Me.
Okay, yep, go.
Me. Ba.
Again.
Me. Ba.
What does it say?
Me.
Who came?
Who came? Like if I was going to like
Right. Who came?
right. So you just read it. Me ba. That's a real sentence. If you ask somebody, me ba, they'd be like, oh, Keisha, Shaquan.
Right.
Yeah.
That name- okay.
They would say, they would tell you who came. It's the question. Who came? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Me ba.
Right.
So-
Me ba.
Me ba. Yep. All right. I'm gonna give you one. This is gonna change the game. It's a game changer, and we'll play around with this one a little bit so it can sink in. Okay. All right. We know what ba means. Ba means what?
Came.
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 Ba means came. Okay. Don't even look at that. Just give me these two together. Av is what? Av is what? Father. Av is father. Ba is came, so we know it has something similar to do with that. Now this is where you're gonna get a little bit of like no, it's not actually. It's very easy. Because Hebrew doesn't change like English. Me and Jade literally had an argument today because she's like, why can't you just teach me in Hebrew? Because you're making me learn English and it makes no sense. Because I'm like, she'll read a word and it's what? And she goes, what? And I'm like, no, it's not what, it's what. Right? Right? It changes. Like, it changes for no apparent reason. And sometimes I have to think like, okay, what's the rule for this again? And sometimes there's not a rule and they tell you just get a list of sight words. Because they have no rule. You just have to know that that's what it is. Right? It's so English is confusing. We just have always spoken English, so we don't think of it that way. This is simple though. So if this is Av, right? Av, like father, and it says Avi, right?
Oh, that's.
It's Avi, Avi. So it says Avi, right? This Yod right here, that just changed the whole game, right? Literally is how you know it's my father.
Person.
So now it means, now you see that Yod there, it says my, well, I'm about to write it backwards. My father came. Okay, so if I said Miba, right? Miba, who came? Miba,
Your
you
mother.
would say Aviba.
Avipa.
My father came. Like my father came,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna write it out. I will write it because it'll make it sink in a little better. So what if I said? So we know the Yod at the end tells you whose it is. It's mine. Okay. So it works for everything. It's not like some rule that's only gonna show up once. So I showed you aim, right, for mother. So then whose mother is it now?
Mine.
It's my mother. All right? You guys say this all the time, and I'm sure this will be for the first time a lot of you actually understand why you say it like this. This is, what, do anybody know this word? We throw it around all the time. So find it out later.
Hey.
Huh?
A.
Ak. Ak. Right? Everybody's like,
Oh.
Hey,
Right.
ah.
And that's what it looked like.
Aki.
My.
My brother.
My brother.
Ah.
Right? It works all the way around. Okay, watch this. I'm not even going to put the vowel there because now you already know the first part. Okay, so if this is ak, I will put it because it's going to be kind of confusing. Okay, I'll put that one. Ak, the feminine version of ak, which would be sister,
Right.
is what?
A colt.
Akot. Sister, Yod.
Akoti.
Akoti, my sister. Give you another one. Son in Hebrew is ben, right? I'll put it like this so you can see it. Ben, right? Is son. That's a final noon, by the way. This is a regular noon.
Beni.
A son. Whose son is this?
My son.
My son. All right.
Beni. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give it to me. B.
Ba.
Ba.
Ah. Tav.
Ba.
It's a tav. What's
Bat.
tav? Bat.
Bat.
So bat.
Daughter.
That's a daughter.
Bot is a daughter. Oh,
My daughter.
Bati. My daughter.
daughter.
You see how it doesn't change?
Right.
Does not change. Does not change. Yeah, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. Does that make sense? It stays
Yes.
the same. It doesn't matter.
Can-
So like if something is like now if I want to say something is just it doesn't matter.
my car.
Yeah, it would still be that. But car is a modern word, but it'd be mekonit.
Oh, okay.
Mekonit.
Oh. Like Ishi.
That's a good one.
Cause he's no longer will you call me Lord, but Ishi.
Something like that.
No. He was saying like if it was like, for instance, they were calling Yah
Mm-hmm.
Baal, right?
Mhm.
And he said they're not gonna call me Baali,
Right.
Right.
my master or my pretty much Baal,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He said they'll call me Ishi, which is my husband,
Husband.
right? Okay, exactly.
Steve.
Perfect. Now you can see it where it's like,
Okay.
oh my gosh, it's actually working.
Okay.
Literally. Okay, let's do another one. Simple sentence. Oh, look at this is very interesting. So look at this book. So I was gonna try to find like another very simple one, and it literally jumps directly into like full sentences. Let me see. Let me find another one. Ooh, I got a good one. Okay, I got a couple of good ones. All right, we were in Genesis, so I think this will be very fitting. Very fitting. We'll use some of those. Okay. Make sure I got it. All right. Give me another one. This is something that you'll use a lot because we're very selfish as humans. This one is, okay, sound it out for me. And that's a noon. A noon, the difference between a noon and a bet is very, very small. In modern script, this is a bet. See that line goes all the way back? This is a noon. Now in paleo, it wouldn't be so bad because a noon looks so different because it looks like this. Right? So the difference with paleo is that every letter has its own shape. Where with modern script, some of those letters look very similar to each other. And so that would be a preference. Now you could kind of try to blend your paleo with vowel points if you want to learn both. But it'd be better just to learn it after you already kind of know how the system works. Okay? All right, so this says
Ni. Oh,
E. Okay?
Ni.
Ani. Ani. Well, very basic.
I need.
I.
That, is that? But the yod is.
It just makes it extends the end of the word, like ani. Ani.
Okay.
Yep. Ani is I. Very simple. I. So how would I say I came? If I said me, ba. If I said who came, and then you would say ani ba.
Okay.
Ani ba, I came. Like who came? I came. I'm here. Right? Okay. You see how those words, those pairs go together? There's not a bunch of words in Hebrew either. I already gave you son. Okay, I'm gonna give you another sentence. Okay, for the men. Like I bet you Natasha and them are watching. And they're like, if you don't use that dry erase marker
Mhm.
and that eraser, okay.
Thank you, Josephine.
Okay. What about that one?
I need
Okay.
It looks the same almost.
Yeah, it does. So I need is what?
Honey,
I need is who?
my
I. And Ab is what?
father.
Father.
Father. So what's interesting about Hebrew, and me and you mind if me and Brother Elia, we were talking about this with translation. Translators have some wiggle room. That's why not knowing a little bit for yourself, hopefully a lot eventually, can really, really be confusing because there are some words that are just inherently not there, but a Hebrew would understand them. This says, I father. I father. But when you would read it in your script, it would say, I am a father. Right? Because there's am a, that like to be verb, it doesn't exist in Hebrew. It's inherently implied there. So, I father. It's funny because it sounds like how when people from other countries come over here and they go, I Jane, I Tony. And you're like, you are Tony? Like, we do that because we fill in that space. But literally it's I father. But what's functional about it is if you father, then you are a father. It's like you don't need that all those extra words to prove that you are a father. So it literally says I father. I father. Right? Okay. Let's do another one. How about let's do this one. We're gonna learn another vowel sound. So we're gonna look at the 3 dots like this. And what sound does that make? Space holder.
And like a triangle, E, A,
Eh. Eh. Okay. Eh.
Eh.
Okay. And we already know the 2 dots next to each other. So I'm gonna write a few of them on the board just for.
Like the 3 dots?
So if you go with me and you can you want to kind of beat me to the punch, go ahead as I write these in. And the reason why I'm giving you these is because we're gonna see these. You're gonna see these words all throughout the Tanakh. All right. Okay. So the first one, Tom, make
Ken.
Right? Cain. It's actually Cain. Cain.
Ken.
So Cain means what?
Yes.
Cain.
Yes.
Cain.
So
Yes.
Cain, not
Cain.
Ken.
No, Cain.
Cain.
Cain. So it's Cain. And how we learn as children, when we say our words, I always do a motion with them. So when I'm in the room with the kids and I'm saying, is this more than or less than? It's even if they don't know what I'm saying, is it more than less than? If they don't, they go bigger. Yes, bigger, more is bigger, right? You just they connected a vocabulary word that they could understand, and they didn't understand more, but they knew her hands are bigger, so it must be big. That's big than, okay? And less than, small than, okay? So if I say Ken, I'm like Ken, I'm giving it to you. Ken is
Yes.
Cain. You're at Cain.
Cain.
All right. This is like gonna be like charades. Okay, eights. Eights is something that is big, right? It has branches. It branches out.
Tree.
Eights is
Tree.
tree. Okay, eights is a tree. So now I give you a mental picture by giving a description of it. So then now eights, tree. Okay. What's interesting is words have pictures to me, like letters. I always think this looks like a tree when I see that word. It looks like a tree to me. I don't know. It doesn't mean
little
anything.
branches.
It looks like branches, right? The word even looks like a tree if you attach together. So Cain, yes,
Cain.
yes.
Cain.
Eights, tree.
Tree.
Okay. This one I didn't put any vowel points for you. I'm sorry. This one is, and this is actually part of this letter. So when the dot is on this side of this word, it makes the s sound. It's a sin, not a shin. Okay, shin has a dot on this side, makes a s sound. Okay, it is what it is. So it's se, v. Esev. Esev. Esev, you're going to see it a bunch of times in Genesis 1:1. It's the,
So when it's not the dot, it's a vet, not a bet.
Exactly. No dot, void, no baby.
No baby.
Yep, with the dot, there's a baby. It's a buh. That's how I remember it. So Esev is grass or herb. So you're gonna see that he's like in the herb and the grass of the. That's that word. Esev. Okay. This one is fun for me because I love to see how Gregorians, Europeans, Romanians, I don't know, whoever, European people pronounce words and then change the name. They don't even care. You know, they'd be like, oh, hey, Bill. And you're like, my name's Brian. Okay, Brandon. Right? They literally did that with people's names in the Bible. It was just like, oh, you know what? Ain't nobody got time for that. So let's do this one. When the dot's up here, it makes the O sound. Okay? And when this is at the end, it makes I used the line. At the end, when it has a line over it, it says ak. It doesn't flip. So it's no, n, o, these together, ak. No,
Noah.
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 That's his name. No, Noah. All right, Neil.
Ooh.
Right?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, right.
His name is Noah.
Noah.
Noah. It's not
That's
Noah.
really irritating.
Yes.
His name is Noah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting, right?
Right.
Right? There's a few more like that that'll make you go like how Eve became Chua. I mean, Chua became Eve.
That doesn't
Always
make any
baffles
sense.
me. It makes no sense. It's so different, but it sounds too ethnic, right? Eve
Yeah.
is like Eve, but
Eve.
Chua is like that
You got
sounds
something.
ethnic,
Yes.
right? Noah
Noah.
Noah.
sounds ethnic, right?
I like Noah.
Noah, Noah. Oh dear Noah, right? You get that vibe. All right. Okay, I got another one. Let's do the word for light because this is something we're gonna see a bunch. Light is an interesting word because it's going to use one of these different kind of vowel points. Okay. So this sound is what?
Ooh, oh.
O. When it's at the top, it's O. When it's in the middle, it's oo. So O. So this is going to pick up this sound. It's O. It's funny. This is like the first time this actually looks like the letter it is. But nope, it's a resh.
Oh.
Or?
Or is the word for light. Or. It actually, literally, I said outside of like the fact that this doesn't look like an O, but this literally looks like an R, it's or. Light in Hebrew is or. Okay? Do you guys have your sheet from the first day? Okay. All right. Let's go. We're going to go to 3. We're going to skip 2 just for now because we got a word now. We learned a word. Every place that you see this word right here, I just want to show you this idea of creating word pictures in your head. Every time you see this word, this is a word, in verse 3 of Genesis 1, I want you to put a box around it. Put a box around that. And I'm going to show you how fast we're getting ready to read through verse 3 just by knowing that word. See it?
Verse 3.
Verse 3. Every time you see this word picture, just put a square around it. Just in verse 3. Just in verse 3.
Every time you see this,
Yeah. Put a square around it.
See?
I'll give you a hint. It's only going to be twice. There should be 2 of them.
1,
Verse 3.
2
Yep,
at
verse
the end
3.
of it. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All right, while you guys do that, I'm gonna write this sentence down.
Verse 3 is at the end. It's means light.
When your mother says finish. I will, as soon as your mother finish.
There's one of these words, I'm not gonna put vowel points on, you already know this word, you don't need vowel points.
Must be yo. No. No.
Boss of the thing.
Vowel
So
point.
that's right.
Right.
Is that E? Underneath is E,
I hear
right?
somebody found it.
Oh, on both sides, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Wait, you're here. Where are you
Oh,
reading? Oh, right here.
verse 3 messing around.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
No.
That's hilarious.
You're good, because, yeah, right.
That's
Mem,
what? Okay.
mem,
So okay.
three dots is A, eh,
Right.
eh,
Ride. Okay.
ra, men,
Okay. Ride.
ramen,
Where is that? Okay. Ramer.
ramir. Because that's a resh.
Ramer.
Right.
Ramer.
Is there a dot
Is that a
on
ra?
top of it?
There's no ra in that sentence.
Aleph?
Okay.
Okay.
Valid.
Are you guys ready? I was trying to write it neat. I have handwriting like a 10-year-old boy sometimes. All right, we're gonna start from the beginning. Do you guys remember I gave you one of these prefixes last week, and it was this one. When you have a vav at the beginning of a word, what is the vav at the beginning of the word? Because we're gonna read it and translate it. What is? Give me vav the picture in your when we do our bulletin. A vav is, for people who know, nail peg, add, and. It's that fastener. In a word, it's and. So this is and, right? All right. I gave you this one last week too. When a yod is in front, then what is it?
Means in front.
In front, did I tell you? When a yod is in
Means
front,
personal, mine.
it's he.
He.
It's he. So in the end, it's my. In the front, it's he. Okay?
No, I didn't get that. I got yod means personal, mine.
Okay, so yod in the front, is he. Is he. Okay, so this part is and he,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the word is, I didn't put the vowel points in there for you, I'm sorry. It's Omer. Somebody check me, because I'm translating with an English word that might not be your exact English word. In verse 3, does it say, and he said, or he spoke? Somebody have it? Genesis
Oh,
1, chapter 1, verse 3.
Elohim said.
And he said, okay, just making sure.
oh,
Okay, so let's sound out this word. So we have va, or it'd be actually vi.
Oh, it is.
Uh-huh.
Wait, vi or ve? Is it ah? Oh, va.
Va. So the Y is like yeah,
Oh,
vi.
okay.
Vi. When a dot's at the top,
It's an O.
it's an O.
Oh, I got confused. So it doesn't matter what side it's on, as long as it's on the top.
Yeah, on the top, right.
Okay.
In this one, on the shin, it matters. But here, you'll probably, if there's like another word that's tied to it, like if a shin has a dot, it'll either take on that dot from that shin, or it'll be on top. That's where it gets confusing, but if there's a dot on top, it's O. So we have vi, O, and mem makes what sound? What's this?
Eh.
That's a resh, right?
Er.
So a dalet, because I see your face. The difference between a resh and a dalet is this.
Right, that's what I said.
So, yeah, I know. Yep, so if you don't see that tail in the back, it's a thing. Some people will make the argument that the Hamashiach knew or understood, which I believe he did, Aramaic. Because that term, one jot or tittle, some people make the argument that it means like literally, if you mess up that, heaven and earth will pass away. You actually mistake a resh for a dalit. That's how precise Yah's word is. That was the, I guess, an idiomatic term using the language script that came out of captivity during the time of Ezra. That's what they say. Okay, anyway, so va, vai, o, Okay, now let's blend these sounds together. Vi, o, mer, Viomer. Viomer. So it's, and he said, and we're going to learn who the he is. And he said, I didn't put vowel points because we should all know this one, even if my handwriting sucks. Who said it? Who said it? Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you see Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem, I do this Jade all the time. When you see THE, that's the. You're going to see that a million times in your life. When you see this picture, it's Elohim. It's never going to change. Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem is Elohim. Okay? And he said, and it's going to tell you who. Elohim. So it's, and Elohim said. Okay, this one is one of those pauses I told you about, right? So short eh, like an E sound, like you're just passing it. So, yeah. Yeah. So it's like yeah, he. You see it? So, yeah, he. So it's yeah, he. Yeah, he. Yeah, he. Okay, so, Vayomer, Elohim, Yehi, it means be. So, and so it literally says, and Elohim said be, right? He's going to say, tell what to be. Be, what's this one?
Light. Or.
Okay, so and Elohim said be or be light, and, right? Va. So vi, he, and be, light. So it's literally, I made a joke about this. Every time I see it, it cracks me up. Because we like, he be, you know, kids be like, he be doing too much, right? It literally reads like that. He said, and Elohim said, be light, and light be. It's translated as light was, but it's not, light is not past tense. Light is. Right? So if you would have said, light was, and light wouldn't be.
That wouldn't be.
It's very precise. It means to be and to keep being. Right? So let's read it. Let's read it all together. So Vayomer. So Vayomer, Elohim, Yehi, be, yep, Yehi, or Vihi, or. Let's do it again until it feels right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Vayomer, Elohim, Yehi, or Vihi, or. One more time.
Yeah.
Vayomer, Elohim, Yehi, or Vihi, or. So Elohim said, be light, and light be.
That's why we had light twice in there.
Yes, that's why you had it twice. He said, because he said it, so it had to do it. Literally, that's what Hebrew shows. He said it, so it would have been interesting if it said light be, and then it would have been like, where's light?
Light.
Right? No. Who came?
Light.
Right? So, ba, what do I say? Me ba. You'd be like, what would you say back? If I said me ba in the sentence. What is light in Hebrew? Or. Answer my question. Me ba. Who came?
I came.
Oh,
when he said light be, who came?
Light.
Light came. Or ba. Right? Or ba. When he said light, light was like, oh, right here. Didn't even know I existed, but I'm here for the party. Right. When he said it, it happened. Literally, that's what it shows. He said, be light. There wasn't no pause. There wasn't like some other fluff filler sentence. And light be. Period. When he said it, it happened. You don't need anything else. It literally shows how plain it is. It wasn't like, you know, people are like trying to look in the back of the Hebrew words to see if there's something that happened. Like, did Elohim then let molecules form, and this photon. No, he said light be, and light was like.
Here I am.
There it is.
That was it. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Those of you who are been watching on Huldah's channel, you can switch over to Moriyoshi Yahoo. Hope you've enjoyed this. This was an excellent lesson. Come on, everybody in the room, let's give her a hand. We're gonna make our way. The goal is really to get through the whole book of Genesis, but through our study, we're gonna be focusing primarily on chapter 1 and 2 because it's the basis. I think I told you before, once we get to chapter 5 or 6, then everything will repeat for the rest of the Bible. So you'll be reading when we get to that page, when we get to that chapter.
No.
'Cause these words, you have seen these words over and over again so many times that now there still will be some vocabulary that you'll learn, but you will have seen all these roots by the time I think we get to chapter 6. So I'm excited about it.
Yes.
All right, so if you guys want to get the Bible study, just switch over. Oh boy, what did I do here? I don't know if I'm upside down or not. For those of you who are coming in live on this device, you can come on over. Okay, there it goes. That's it. All right, so we're going to be getting started. First of all, shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
I've got a